بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. يلا نبدأ إن شاء الله. Who is
Quran,
our volunteer for today?
me.
ما شاء الله ما
Is
شاء الله. Before we begin, Andy Farida, run us through, mashallah, how you managed to prepare for today. What's the steps you took?
Now for me it was a bit taxing.
G.
That's the
So
meaning for each
what
word.
is the
Sometimes
step?
there were more than one meaning, so we don't know which one to take. So,
Alhamdulillah. And then
but
which
anyway,
dictionary were you using, Andy Farida? Hans Wehr or which one?
Hans Wehr.
Okay, Alhamdulillah. That's an expected part of the process. MashaAllah, it's actually quite good, Alhamdulillah. When Auntie Farida eventually decided on a word, what was the criterion for? Was it the fit, or was it because of any other criteria?
It's because we did little bit of this how to make wuzu and all that before. So we just took the word that matches with what we thought to how to make the wuzu. But the only thing that really got me was how to wipe the beard and all that part, you see, because we don't have beards.
Okay. So it was new words. And then
Yeah,
Auntie Farida,
you
when
see,
you were
like you
looking
say
at the different
underneath the
words,
beard, or how you do the palm of the hand with the water. I don't know. I still don't understand it, but you'll explain to us when you finish. inshallah. Are you
And
still
the more
there?
consistent. G.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Gee, now
And
I
then,
can hear
and
you.
then from a tarkib or from the nahwa perspective, did you ever have to, while you were checking up, maybe you weren't sure of an i'rab, does this get a rafa, does this get a nasab, does this get a jar? Was there any situation like that?
Gee, Malana, I took guesses there.
Alhamdulillah. But
Even if
it's a
it's a
very good.
mudafile or whatever, to all that is like guesses. So we expect you to correct it for us.
Inshallah. Well, what we can also do is sometimes when we look at something and maybe we get a little bit confused. Like we
Yes.
say, we're taking guesses at that
Malana, we
particular
didn't
time.
know. I didn't know really whether it was a verb or whether it's a noun or what sometimes, verbal noun
Gee,
or, things
gee,
like that.
no problem. But
So
so,
if
so,
our
so good
first one is
thing.
wrong, then the whole passage is wrong. So you have to change
Gee.
everything.
No, but alhamdulillah. But what I want to say is that sometimes when you're looking at the word, it's also very good just to in our mutala that we maybe go through, like for example, if one word looks built this for example, you see something, hey, if you're not sure if it's mudaf ilayh or if it's the fa'il, then it's very good at that particular time to open up the actual nahu kitab that we've done, go through the laws of the fa'il and see what we can pick up, see if it's applicable and like that, inshallah. But as you've correctly pointed out, that we will highlight it in class, inshallah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But this is for the whole class, inshallah. That so when we do our mutala'a, we have our vocabulary to pick up from the usage of the dictionary, inshallah, and then also to revise our nahu concepts. Okay, see if we can apply there and ask those questions in class. So you can say that this is what I understood it to be. I was corrected like this. Why is it that correction? Or for example, if Auntie Farida says, I don't understand how to identify a verb or identify a noun, then if you ask me in the beginning of the section of the lesson, then we can highlight that as we go along, inshallah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But jazakumullah khairan, Auntie Farida, especially for your trying. It will only get easier, but inshallah, we need to be consistent in it. May Allah bless you. We're starting شروط صحة الوضوء on this page, or we're starting on this page here?
26. Your page 26.
26 on my page. والاستنشاق Okay.
Yeah,
Bismillah.
there's 3 lines of that page.
Bismillah. Bismillah.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wal-istinshaku bisalasi gurfatin. Right, so we are putting water in the nose 3 times, 3 handfuls. Gurfatin, handfuls. So should I do the tarkib one time?
Whatever is easy, inshallah. والاستنشاق
Is when you putting water in the nose. The meaning we got was inhale and smell, but then we said now putting 3 handfuls of water into the nose. How you do that? You don't smell it or inhale it. You just
so just sniffle it up. So to sniffle it, and actually, it's a very interesting thing, because in many of the view of the ulama, that you have to actually sniffle it up past the outer softy fleshy part into the nose to the inner septum, going to the inner parts. Like, and they actually mentioned that the water should be behind, should move past the bony part of the nose. And then when they discuss that there is an initial discomfort experienced by novices to this, but in their opinion, this would be the more correct wudu. But once again, it would be it can have that meaning of snuffling it up, or slightly pushing the water deeper into the nose than simply in front. Bismillah.
So that is a mubtada. Bisalasati is B is harf jar. Salasati is majroor. And gurfatin. Salasati gurfatin is mudaf ilayh.
MashaAllah. That's correct.
Okay. The next part.
And then the mudaf mudaf ilayh, what do they become, Auntie Farida?
It becomes the cover. I mean, becomes the
Majroor.
maf'ul. Yeah,
No, it
majroor.
becomes majroor of B,
But it's
and then B harf jar becomes a khabar. Okay, no problem, inshallah. Let's continue. والمبالغة
هل لغتو or ligatu, Polana?
مبالغة. The reason when we say مبالغة is because it is on the scale of mufa'ala. So there's no guessing in this one for because mubalagha. I think so. Did very quickly. Did Nabila yesterday? I sent I sent a thing of the specialities of the af'al. Did Nabila send it to you
We
people?
got that. Yeah, it is
All right.
there, Molana.
All right. So in that thing there, you will see that balagha yubalighu mubalaghatan. That is
Okay.
the third the third form.
Yeah, the third
So,
form of.
No, because the word balagh, so it has to be mubalaghatan, because when I memorize the scale is mufa'alatan and not mufa'ilatan. So that's how I conclude that, inshallah.
Right. مبالغة في مدمدة والاستنشاق غير صائم.
لغير الصائم.
Okay.
Okay. The translation.
Right. For rinsing of the mouth
G.
in
An exaggerated. What's the meaning you got for mubalagha?
Yeah, exaggeration. In exaggeration, balagha is the root.
G.
And mubalagha is the third form.
G, that's the third form, alhamdulillah. And then, so let's just give a practical. Then what happens? The third form, the third form. Do you know any of the specialities? Were you able to go through that PDF I sent yesterday?
No, Molana, I just looked at it, but I didn't. I was supposed to print it and then learn it.
No problem. I can give you an example from there. The third form is it's hyperbole, to show exaggeration, or when you want to exaggerate, emphasize through exaggeration, then you'll put it on the balagha yubalighu mubalaghatan. That is why they use a third one. But you can carry on, inshallah.
Fi madmadati is gargling. Swirling the mouth around in the water, in the mouth.
G, correct.
While istinshaki, and in the nostril, cleaning the nostrils, right?
G.
Means like exaggeration, when you have to go right inside the mouth, right to the back of the throat, and in the nose, you must pull the water right up. But you mustn't be fasting.
لغير صائم, mashallah. So, mubalagha in this sentence, from a Turkey perspective, what is it going to be, the first word?
Mubtada.
Mashallah. Continue.
مرفوع وعلامة الرفعه ضمة الظاهرة. في is حرف جر and مدمدتي is majroor, and because ataf in the middle of it, we'll say one is matuf and istinshaki is matuf ilayh.
All right, that's correct, mashallah. Then both of them, what do they become?
They become the Majrurun.
Excellent, mashallah. All right. And the majroor becomes the jar majroor becomes the
Is it the cover?
So just to highlight, in this level of our tarkib, we're going to take it for granted that it becomes a khabar, right? Because it does become the khabar. However, inshallah, as you move along in Arabic grammar, you will find out that it actually is the muta'alliq to a khabar, but because this is a discussion that will take time, and this is not a nahwu class, for the time being, we will accept that whenever there's a jar majroor after a mubtada, you can make it a khabar, inshallah. But just keep in mind that there is going to be additional information that will be shared with us later on as we progress. So, والمبالغة is مبتدا في المضمضة والاستنشاق is one خبر لغير صائم is the second خبر. Very good, mashallah. Let's continue, Auntie Farida.
Right, but lighairi is li is the harf jar, ghairi saim is the is the other khabar you said. Okay, then we can carry on with the next one. What taqlilu liyatil kasati bikafi mai min asfaliha.
Alhamdulillah. Good reading. This
So,
translation.
Right, this one is you running your fingers through the beard, but the beard is a thick beard. So, bikafi is with the palm of the hand, the palm with the wet water in the palm. So asfaliha is the bottom of it, or underneath it.
Right, mashallah. Let's see the tarkib.
Yeah. وتقليل مبتدا مبتدة مرفوع وعلامة الرفع ضمة الظاهرة. Okay.
I'm going to take it. We can continue. We'll come back to this now, inshallah.
Right. This part, lihiyatil kasati, is it mawsuf sifa?
Definitely, alhamdulillah. Mawsuf sifa. What does the mawsuf sifa become?
It becomes a cover.
Okay.
Running the fingers through the beard.
However, can I ask anybody in the class, can anyone give me a different tarkib? Is there anyone in the class who can give a different tarkib?
Ji Maulana, can I continue?
Please, Bismillah, Panasima.
Ji taghlilu, running of the fingers. So taghlilu would be the mudaf. Sorry, maaf. Lihyatil kathati would be mawsuf sufa, and that will be mudaf ilayh, and then it will all be the mubtada.
MashaAllah, that's excellent.
Yeah, double mudaf ilayh. Yeah, so, sorry, I also knew that.
And it's easy for us to figure that one out because in the meaning, وَتَخْلِيلُ اللِّحْيَةِ الْكَثَّةِ, and the khilal of a thick beard, بِكَفِّ مَاءٍ, with a hand or a palm full of water, min asfaliha, from beneath it, mashallah. We can continue, Auntie Farida, وَتَخْلِيلُ الْأَصَابِعِ وَتَثْلِيلُ, right until the end, inshallah.
Bikafi is word is half a jar.
No, we can leave the tarkib out. We can leave the tarkib. We can leave the tarkib.
All right, we go to the next one. Okay, I'm just looking for it in my book.
وَتَخْلِيلُ
الْأَصَابِعِ. أصابعه.
So what is it? أصابع or أصابعي?
Ish. I got R and E, Maulana. So I'm a little bit
Okay, no
confused.
problem. No
So I
problem.
think it's
But
E.
let's see
I think
why.
it's E.
Okay,
Because
why
it's
would it be
mudaf,
E?
mudaf ilayh.
All right, that's a good answer.
Mudaf
And we'll
and
take
mudaf
that
ilayh.
answer. Yeah, let's take that answer and we can carry
And
on. It makes sense.
it's like the interlacing of the fingers.
G. Exactly. The interlacings of the fingers, just, but it's the khilal means to do with a wet hand. So it's the interlacing of the wet fingers. G.
Wet fingers, okay.
So we don't have to worry about tarkib now. We can just read and translate until the ending, inshallah.
All right. And what taslisul ghasli. 3 times. Okay. Washing 3 times. I think they left out the limbs or something. What you washing 3 times here, Mulana?
G, it's not left out, it's made mahdhuf. So when it says وَتَثْلِيثُ al-asab, you see at the bottom it says kulliha. So in Arabic grammar generally it's considered to be good, or it's not to make everything that obvious. Quite kind of like how we also speak in English. So وتثليث الغسل يعني وتثليث غسل كل عضو من البدن الذي يجب غسلها في الوضوء. Like that would be the complete sentence.
Sentence, okay. So we just I'm just translating it direct from the
You will be translating it direct, and then you can give us context also, because all of that وتثليث الغسل, all those two words, those two words directly include in their understanding the entire sentence that I've mentioned.
Okay. All right, the next one.
So, to ask that question, how
No
would I
problem.
know now the balance of that? Because I don't know Arabic that good. So I won't know
Right.
now what is the balance of the sentence as you explaining. I will just go by what we see in the textbook in front of us.
Exactly.
Like Farida did.
G. And that is the thing. Now, can you see at the bottom of the page, in the bottom of the page, all of those discussions, and this is a very good question that we have, is that it is not, although it is possible, it is never recommended that a student jump into fiqh, especially not only fiqh, any of the Islamic texts on your own, because there is such a depth to it that it would be, again, it's not that you cannot, it will be very, very, difficult, bordering on the impossible, for a person to always get the correct context of the discussion in the Islamic sciences unless there is the guidance of an ustad. This is one aspect where we can highlight that, because this ilm is talaqqiyan. Jibreel, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, we go through we familiarize ourselves with hadith. You will always find that Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam will mention things like, I was sitting with Jibreel, Jibreel visited me, Jibreel counseled me, Jibreel done these things. So what do we understand from that? That our legacy of knowledge is one of talaqqiyan. It is one of, this chain, my ustad from my ustad from my ustad. Why? Because ultimately, even Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, now, to pick up from our aqidah perspective, you will know that there are many incorrect beliefs with regards to Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That in our communities as well, and one of them is that Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam knew about the future. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam had ilmul ghaib, which from our aqidah perspective is absolutely incorrect. Now, this is one of those aspects that we highlighted, that Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam was the beloved, dear messenger of Almighty Allah. There is no human being to have ever existed more beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala than Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. However, Nabi Sallam didn't know everything, and his ustad was Jibreel alayhi salam, and Jibreel alayhi salam was the ustad of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam on the command of Allah. And what better than ustad? So just to highlight that point, is the entirety of the bottom page. We only have 3 lines in bold script. Then we have How many lines? If you just look at it, there's more than 25 lines at the bottom,
It
approximately.
explains.
And
Does it explain like the top? It's
it
explaining like point
explains
to,
everything
okay,
off
like
the
a
top.
footnote.
It explains everything, all of it, all of these explanations are held in there. In fact, you will find now, and this is a bit, I'm just taking this conversation down an ilmi route, because alhamdulillah, this is a very beautiful question, and this is how we will understand, right? So number one, those footnotes at the bottom, they are giving you context over everything on top. So if I can just take out this thing here quickly. لغير الصائم, if you can see the red dot, قد قيد قيد به, meaning now they're going to look at this discussion. This discussion, even we are not even discussing it on our level. قيد به, he has made قيد with it, meaning he has confined its meaning. فإن الصائم لا يبالغ في المضمضة ولا في الاستنشاق خشية إفساد الصوم ولو كان الصوم صوم نقل. So now he goes to explain that a person who is fasting should not go through this exaggerated movements in gargling and washing the nose. Why? And then they give that why. The why is khashyata ifsad, so out of a fear of breaking or causing fasad to your fasting, even though it is a nafil, walau kana sawmu naqlin, even though it is not a farz fast. Now, where will we understand sawmu naqlin? What does the meaning of naql? Naql will come from usul al-fiqh, etc., etc. But this is how we do it. Now, in this book, you will find this. This is the chosen commentary. But on Nur al-Idah, or this is what you will have. You will find there are many commentaries of one text. So you will have, for example, this particular scholar's, commentary on Nur al-Idah. You'll have another particular scholar's commentary on Nur al-Idah, and that is why, from an academic or perspective of studying, it is so. It is such a wonderful pastime that you read the different commentaries, and this is what the Ustad does. The Ustad reads the different commentaries, brings it to the class. So inshallah, this mutala that we started now, this is the first step. The second step to this mutala, let's say for example, we move from here, you move on to a kitab called Kanzul Daqaiq, or we move to Sharh al-Wiqaya. There your mutala has to be a bit in-depth, because now you know how to use a dictionary. Now you will have revised all of the nahu concepts. So on that level of mutala, you're not more worried about the words that much, and you're not worried about the grammar, because you've practiced it the entire level 2, which is Nur al-Idah, right? However, what are you doing there? There you are starting to read the footnotes. You are training yourself to read the footnotes. Example. And once you complete, a few chapters, we used to do, complete books, but inshallah, this is the vision, to do a few chapters from there, engaging yourself in that type of a mutala'ah. You then move on to hidayah, when you're not even, now you're looking at the different commentaries across the different mukhtalifi masail. And that is, alhamdulillah, the progressive a journey of something that we have started now. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you with the question, inshallah. And if you could just read the Arabic ibara, and I think over, inshallah.
واستيعاب الرأس بالمسح مرة. So see, now you're making masa of the entire head once.
What translation did you get for the word isti'ab?
The entire, or the whole head, the full head.
How did you get that meaning?
We got the root letter.
What was the root of isti'ab?
Ba.
Okay.
No, ya'aba.
Ya'aba. Okay. And then what was isti'ab?
It was the entire, or the whole head. And somebody got encircling head, yeah. And somebody said full head, the whole entire head. Malana, that word was a bit hard, but anyway. Mudaf mudafile. For wa isti'abul ra'asi. And it's a mubtada. Can you hear me, Malana? Is it like Mulana is gone? Mulana is still there.
We can hear you, Sister Farida, but I don't know where's
You all
Mulana.
can hear me. I think Mulana is gone.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum.
I said,
Assalamu alaikum.
while isti'abul rasi is mudaf ilayh.
And Farida was asking a question, Maf. The isti'ab, why are you reading it as isti'ab and not, for example, asti'ab? What's the reason?
It's I don't know. I thought it was a bab bab 10.
Exactly, mashallah. That's the exact thing. So there's no guesswork. So the reason you're saying isti'ab instead of isti'ab, for example, is because it comes from form number 10, bab number 10, isti'aba yasti'abu isti'aban. So that's how we got the answer, mashallah. Continue.
Yeah, bil mas'il marratin is mudaf ilayh also, and then it becomes the B is half a jar, and the rest is majroor.
The marratin, you made it what?
I made it majroor. Mudaf ilayh.
So if marratin is the mudaf ilayh, that would mean al-mashi is mudaf. Is it correct?
No, bil is the half a jar.
So B is the harf jar. What is al-mashi?
Mashi is not majroor. It's majroor. No.
Majroor, and then marratan is what?
Is maratan or maratin, Molana? I was confused here also.
Why would it be marratin? The reason I would say marratan is because it is a darf. It is a darf, marratan meaning once. So it refers to a unit of time. A unit of time would be a maf'ul fi. So then we will say wa isti'abu ar-ra'si bil mashi marratan. Can anyone in the class, before I give the answer, anyone in the class, what's the reason or what's the tarkib or what's the thing?
Will it be hal, Mulana?
Okay. we can see it being hal, but as I've already given the answer to that,
It's a zarf of time.
Zarf is maf'ul fi. So maf'ul fi, because marratan, remember maf'ul fi is duruf. So a place, a unit of time or an area of measure.
So therefore it must be mansubun.
You have ams, yesterday. You have ghadan, tomorrow.
Will that also fall under a zarf of time? So it will have to be mansubun.
Exactly. That is why it's mansub. So now, what will the tarkib be? If it's mansub, what is it going to be in the sentence? It can only be 16 possibilities.
Maf'ul bi.
This is not maf'ul bi, maf'ul fi.
Maf'ul fi. Okay.
Okay, Mulana, the maf'ul be like a person, and then the maf'ul fi. Explain the difference, please.
The condition.
Very, very easy with regards to the maf'ul. When it comes to a fi'l, fa'il, and maf'ul, we have these the very technical words, verb, and we have active participle, you have the subject, and you have the object. But in very simple words, a fi'l is the action, because this is how it's explained in Arabic. Al-fi'lu ya'ni al-amal. So the fi'l is the action. So whenever you see any action happening with regards to any sentence, automatically conclude that it is an amal. When it is an amal, it's going to be a fi'l. And then al-fa'ilu man yaqumu bil-fi'li. Al-fa'ilu man yaqumu bil-fi'li. So who is the fa'il? The subject. Okay. The fa'il is the person who is doing the action. So the action that you just read about now, in the Arabic, how they explain it is that he is the person, or she is the person, or it is the thing that carries out the action that we saw previously. Well, maf'ul translated in English is the object. Okay, but what in Arabic, how they simply explain it? الذي يقع عليه العمل, on which the action that the fa'il did on on which it occurred. So that occurrence can either be on a particular person, an object, an item. That will be maf'ul bihi. Bihi meaning it occurred on it. The be here will not be with, it will be on. Bihi, maf'ul bihi. So the occurrence of an action on it. Maf'ul fihi, what's the meaning of fi in? So maf'ul fihi, the occurrence of the action in it. So just from the meaning of the word fi, we can understand it will either be contained by a unit of time, meaning zaman, or it will contain by a unit of distance measure, meaning makan. So you will hear رأيته الأمس ذهبت إليه صباحا and all of those. Then let's do مفعول به مفعول فيه. Then you have مفعول له. Maf'ul lahu, the third one. What's lahu? Li ajali. So these are like, what do you say? When you take the first name of everything. So you had lahu, lam is ajali, and ha is this. So maf'ul li ajalihi. That maf'ul because of it. So ضربته تأدبا. Why did you hit him? Why did you hit your son, your beloved son? Why do you hit him? I don't hit him because I hate him. ضربته تأدبا, so that he can gain adab in his life. So that will be مفعول له. It explains the reason for the occurrence of the action. That's three. Then you have مفعول مطلق. Maf'ul mutlaq, what's the meaning of mutlaq? Emphasis. So that emphasis or distinction. So it can either be in emphasis or it can either be in knower. So, akaltu aklatan. I ate literal food or I ate good food or really wonderful food. So that was how many? Maf'ul fi, maf'ul lahu, maf'ul ma'a. All right. And then the last one is maf'ul ma'a. And what is maf'ul ma'a? Once again, in Arabic, ma'ahu. That the action of the verb became possible with it or due to it. ذهبت أنا وزيدا. أنا وزيدا. So why is it Zaydan? Because maf'ul ma'ah, my going to Zayd was so that I could pick him up and go somewhere else. So Zayd is my partner on this journey. So that is known as maf'ul ma'ah. So you have the verb, the doing word, the action, then you have the person who carries out the action, and then you have 5 ways in which the result of that action is seen. You can either see it, in the most, logical conclusion that would mean that this has brought about this result, and that would be maf'ul bihi, then maf'ul fihi, maf'ul ma'ahu, etc.
I think
question.
Appa will do it.
If that is a maf'ul, then where's the fa'il in the sentence?
Very good, mashallah. We will do this tarkib now. In the meantime, can anyone tell me where's the fa'il?
Isn't the mashi will be the
easier question would be asked, where is the fi'il?
Sorry, the fi'al. I meant to say fi'al, Marana. Sorry, not fa'il, the fi'al.
No problem. So anyone?
Yeah, included in the ism.
In the ism, what type of ism?
In the one is the.
No, we're not looking at that one. Then we're looking at
bil mas'i.
Bil mas'i.
We have to, in order to solve this, we have to look at isti'ab.
Malana, if you're looking at isti'abu, that is your masdar. So do you look at your isti'abu to find your fa'il?
Exactly. You must remember, with regards to asma, with regards to nouns, there are 3 types of nouns. One is jamid noun. A jamid noun is a noun that is not derived from any word, and neither are any words derived from it. So the example of a jamid noun, the word qalamun, baytun, etc., or rajulun. Then you have 2 other types of noun. One is masdar, which is a verbal noun, hence verbal. That's our hint already there. And then you have the masadir, and you have the mushtaqat. What are the mushtaqat? They are nouns that are derived from verbs. So in the mushtaqat, you will get an ismul fa'il, an ismul maf'ul. Now, as far as tarkib goes, an ismul fa'il and an ismul maf'ul will be dealt with as a normal verb, just as you can deal with a masdar in a normal verb. وَإِسْتِعَابُ الرَّأْسِ بِالْمَسْحِ مَرَّةً. And وَإِسْتِعَابُ بِالْمَسْحِ, to completely cover the head بالمسح, through the action of masah, meaning wiping a wet hand, marratan, once. So isti'abu is the masdar. It is going to be in this particular sentence. You have two tarkibs. You can make it isti'abu. You can make it mudaf. Ar-ra'si mudaf ilayh. Isti'abu ar-ra'si mudaf ilayh is going to become the mubtada. Bil mashi is going to be jim.
So,
Isti'ab al-ra'si.
how are you going to explain that? How did we find the fi'l now? You said that it's in that word, how?
Yeah, we're coming there now.
Yeah.
So
Oh, sorry,
for the
no,
first,
no.
it's no problem. وَإِسْتِعَابُ الرَّأْسِ مُضَافٌ مُضَافٌ إِلَيْهِ, that is going to become the mubtada. Bil-masḥi is going to be
Maulana, I read
G.
as mudaf ilayh. So I
G.
could use it as mudaf ilayh.
G, you can use it. You should be using it. Mudaf ilayh becomes the
G.
mubtada. And then B harful jar al-masḥi majroor. Bil-masḥi jar majroor is going to become the, either you can make it the khabar, or you can make it to the muta'alliq of a fi'l that is mahdhuf. Yeah, وَإِسْتِعَابُ الرَّأْسِ غَسْلًا بِالْمَسْحِ مَرَّةً. Or you can say, so you can either say, so the fi'l mahdhuf that you can, you can put it, you can even put an active part, an ismul fa'il mahdhuf. وَإِسْتِعَابُ الرَّأْسِ غاسلا بالمسح مرة, that completely covering the head while you are washing, so that part is not said out loud. So what is it? How do we translate it? واستيعاب الرأس, and covering the complete head, بالمسح, with wiping, marratan, once. So with wiping what? With wiping while busy with wudu. I'm just giving you the English versions of the af'al that you could assume there. With wiping or with washing, you can either use the word with ghusl, you can use the word yamsahu, you can either use the word, you can also use the word farada, that or sunnatan, that the reason for this particular action occurring would be this particular, that it is the farad or it is the sunnah, in that dimension. So isti'ab al-ra's bil-mashi, and then you're going to have bil-mashi is going to be muta'alliq to that particular fi'l that is mahdhuf, and marratan is going to be the maf'ul fihi of that particular fi'l. That is one tarkib. The other tarkib you can do, wa isti'ab al-ra's is going to be mudaf ilayh. Mudaf ilayh is going to become, and this is, I don't know if you guys done this already. So this is, we are going to make it khabari muqaddam. We're going to make it khabari muqaddam. And then we're going to make bil mashi a second khabari muqaddam. And then we are going to then assume a verb before marratan. So he's going to say, وَيَغْسِلُ مَرَّةً بِالْمَسْحِ وَيَسْحِبُ مَرَّةً بِإِسْتِعَابِ الرَّأْسِ بِالْمَسْحِ. That you will wash once the entire head by covering the entire head through the action of masah. You got that, Turkey, everyone?
Okay. No, we
Sounds
didn't
very
do all.
complicated. Yeah, very complicated.
No, but it's not. It's not like it just sounds complicated. But let's think of it logically, right? Marratan, again, if you look at the word marratan, think about it. It's a unit of time. Marratan. It has to be a unit of time. So once we do that, and this is how, and inshallah, this is how do we understand poetry? Poetry it looks very difficult. It's upside down, but you have to understand it at the word. So marratan is a unit of time, which means that as a unit of time is going to be maf'ul fi. If it's going to be maf'ul fi, there has to be a fi'l, or maybe not a fi'l. This is maybe this will be a complex pattern. I didn't even mention it. There will be a musnad. There will be a musnad. Now remember, in Arabic, in actual terminology, and this is inshallah where we need to reach. This is where your Arabic journey will end. When you realize that fi'l and fa'il, fi'il, mubtada, khabar, these are all sort of these are not necessarily elementary terms, but these are more common terms. In the more academic settings, you don't use the word mutlaq, but you use the word musnad and use the word musnad ilay, because that's a very accurate description. What's a musnad? A musnad is the main is the information bearing part of the sentence. So it will be the khabar, it will be a fi'l. So the understanding is that a musnad can always have a muta'alliq, a musnad. So even in that is why you remember I said for the time being we will just accept that jar majrur becomes khabar, but there's a process, and we don't discuss it, because the process is that it will not become khabar, it becomes muta'alliq to a khabar that is mahdhuf, and you have to assume it all the time because it's the musnad part of the sentence. So a musnad is either a khabar or a fi'l, and a musnad ilay will either be the fa'il or the mubtada. Because of that, when you have any musnad, a musnad can be reinforced with a muta'alliq. So whether that musnad is a fi'l or whether that musnad is a khabar, because both of them, the role of the muta'alliq is to add context to the sentence, and the context is given to the musnad, not the musnad ilay. So that's why the rule goes that it is always the musnad that a jar majroor or mudaf ilay will always be either associated to a musnad rather than the musnad ilay.
So Malana, explain what is
okay.
mahzuf, and I don't
Can
know
we
what
just
is
finish the 2
mahzuf.
lines? I can explain the rest.
Sorry.
As you people were standing here, kind of standing in front of me, because mashallah, a few weeks ago she did tell me that everyone has things. So I will answer that question with regards to mahdhuf. Mahdhuf means something that is omitted. So something that is omitted. And what is the meaning of omitted? Meaning that you assume is there. It's like, for example, in an English sentence you say, I went to school this morning, and then I went here, and then I went there, and then I done this. I'm not going to say school every time because we already mentioned it before. It will now be assumed, because if I have to say school every time, I'll sound like a baby. I went to school and in the school and in the school. So that's the same thing in Arabic. So you will have a lot of assumptions, a lot of assumed discussions, because obviously this we're speaking about. So the author is not going to write. And then also these texts, why they are written out, why they are so power packed in information, because these texts were used for memorization. It's not for reading. Allahu Akbar. May Allah bless these, our scholars of the past. This is for memorization. They should memorize this. So they needed to pack as much information into a small stanza or couplet, so that it's easier to memorize, and then the explanation of it is so literally. The text that we are doing, the bold part is from the Kitab Quduri, right? Quduri, inshallah, we're going to do after this year. Quduri is the text of Hidayah, but the one commentary of it extends it to 1 volume. The other commentary becomes 4 volumes. Why do they do that? Why do they use these very technical and very highly grammatical nuances to hide meaning? Well, they're not hiding the meaning. They're simply condensing as much meaning as they can into the smallest skillfully crafted sentence, so that it can be easier to memorize. And that was every and it's not. I don't think so. It's a matter of kibr, but it highlights the excellent scholarship of the ulama of the past, that they pack these. They formulate these very simple to read sentences that have huge possibilities of meanings just by their just by their G.
Sorry, Maaf. Bill must he okay now, because by being alif lam in front of the masi, is a kind of a idea to say, okay, there's a hidden fi'al in there?
No, the bil mashi, that's going to be jar majroor.
It's jar majroor, but like I thought it's mudaf. Obviously, it can't be a mudaf ilayh. I made a mistake.
It can't be mudaf ilayh, because what's the reason? You can identify it almost immediately. Why?
Can't, because there's an al there now. I realize it. Obviously,
Exactly.
but now if there's an And there's obviously a hidden field. That is what you mean by ma'udhuf. You're saying there's a hidden field, which we have to figure out on our own, obviously.
And that's it. It doesn't become that difficult to figure out now. Anyway, it becomes, it's a bit challenging to figure out now, but it becomes part of you because, again, you simply applying your rules. And your rule is, this is muta'alliq. There has to be a musnad, right? A musnad has to be a khabar, or it has to be a fi'l. So either there's a khabar that's mahdhuf, or there's a fi'l that's mahdhuf. Make sense?
Makes sense, definitely.
Jazakallah khair, barakallahu feekum. Khair, inshallah, for next week, I'm not going to give anybody homework because next week we're going to try and catch up with some from fiqh, alhamdulillah. And then after this, we'll hand out the homework again. Ji?
Mark, we just have to do the reading and the translation. We just haven't completed because we got distracted with all our discussion.
Ji, khair, inshallah. Okay, I want to carry on. Maulana Shakir is telling me that, a lot of this, we've gone too much over. So we'll just pick it up next week. And next week, I will do the entire section and we'll do it from the fiqh perspective, inshallah. Jazakumullahu khairan, barakallahu feekum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi.